Arsenal have a big game this weekend, and a big chance, really, in a lot of people's eyes, to sort of cement their kind of title credentials in terms of, and that's long before a title race, but to beat City and then go away to Chelsea, who Chelsea fans are confident about this game. Arsenal can win this. It's a equally as good a start as last season. Two big games, one back to back. How do you see this game going Saturday, mate?
Look, yeah, you're right. The win against City will give them confidence. It's a strange one with Arsenal because they've not lost, but I don't watch them and think, oh, you're really good. Do you know what I mean? I'm not having a dig. I haven't seen that football that we saw last season from them. I didn't think they were that good against City from a kind of offensive aspect. But they're getting the job done. They're getting over the line. Now, this is a Chelsea team now that seems a little bit more settled the last 3 games, Terry. You know, they've got to the stage where we now know what their back four is going to be. We now know what their midfield three is going to be. You know what their forward line is going to be. And it seems to have settled down for them. And they've got, I think, 3 wins in a row in all competitions, 2 Premier League wins in a row. I don't think they've got anything to be massively scared of. But I don't know at the same time if they've got enough to scare Arsenal. This seems like I'm very much sitting on the fence. I think this could be a really good end-to-end game. I'm not impressed by either of the clubs really at the moment. There's not many clubs that have impressed me, if I'm brutally honest, this season. But look, I think if Arsenal are serious, this is the game after beating City. You're right. This is the game. Go and cement it. If you're Arsenal, go and cement that win. Show everyone what they're about. By winning this, they effectively knock Chelsea out of any form of... I'm not saying they're in a race, by the way. Just want to make sure people are hearing what I'm saying. This effectively knocks Chelsea out of any race, doesn't it? Because I believe the gap between the 2 clubs is 9 points. If that gap goes to 12 points, that's a huge gap, right? But like I said to you earlier, Terry, Chelsea managed to win this game. Suddenly, they're only 5 or 6 points behind Liverpool after having this dreadful start and everyone wanting Poch sacked. So it's a massive game for both of them. I'm actually really looking forward to watching it. This is one of the games so far this season I'm actively really looking forward to watching. And I think it could go either way.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is, I completely agree with you. I think this is a giant game for both teams for different reasons, if that makes sense. I think it's huge for both teams for very, very different reasons. I'm very intrigued to see how this kind of goes and how it pans out and the ramifications off the back of it. And that's the thing for me. It's the knock-on effect, the domino effect of this game is huge. And I spoke about it on Monday. I spoke about it with Lee yesterday. And I think it's one of those games where there's still a lot of people doubting Arsenal. I don't think they can do what they did last year.
Sorry, I meant Arsenal. I think I might have said Liverpool at the end there. I think everyone knew what I meant. Arsenal. I think.
Yeah, that's why I didn't challenge it.
Sorry, I meant Arsenal.
I got what you were talking about. But even having said that, Liverpool are only a few points behind Arsenal, so it's much of a muchness anyway.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
But there's a lot of people doubting Arsenal still. There's a lot of people that are sitting there with this sort of view of, Arsenal. They won't do what they did last year. They win this game, and whatever City do, they're 2 points ahead of them. Then that 10th game, it's a relatively easy one for Arsenal, and Man City play in the Manchester Derby. And this is what Arsenal should be focusing on as a club. Win your next 2 games, and we will at least be 2 points ahead of City, which is a point better than last year. But it could be 5. It could be 4. And then suddenly, that confidence, I think, will cement them into a whole nother stratosphere of confidence. Lose the game, though, you're right. Chelsea will suddenly start feeling like, hang on a minute now. That's 4 wins and all comps on the bout. Arsenal beaten, Brighton beaten in that period, climbing up the league. It damages Arsenal from a point of view of, we've just gone and beat City, and now we've gone and lost to Chelsea and put a bit of pressure back on ourselves again. And that's why it's an interesting gateway game. It doesn't end Arsenal's season or
of course it doesn't.
Or end Chelsea's, but I think what this win could do for both teams in terms of confidence and progression is massive. So
this is why every year, Terry, I always say, right? This is what I keep saying to Spurs fans at the moment when they're talking about winning titles and title challenges. Look at Arsenal last year. Arsenal was superior to every other team, then had that 3-game blip I don't know the exact order. I think it was Southampton, Liverpool, West Ham, I believe, were the 3 teams where they didn't win any of them. And they went from 8 or whatever points clear to below City. Right now, that's football. Look how quickly it changes. If Chelsea beat Arsenal, right? If Chelsea beat Arsenal, all of a sudden, they've gone from a football club that had 5 points and everyone's going, oh my God, they're going to finish bottom half, to a team that has suddenly got 14 points and are probably 3 or 4 points off Champions League after 9 games. That's football, right? This is why, Terry, I never, ever, when people want to start getting all clickbaity, when people want to start getting all knee-jerk, you just don't know, right? You just don't know what happens. 3 wins, you can leapfrog 7, 8 teams. 3 defeats, you can go 7, 8, 9 places down in the table. So it's always been this way. What I would say is, to beat Man City to a title, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Liverpool, yeah, you've got to get a massive lead, because as they showed last year, and what was the biggest lead? Was it 9 points at one point, wasn't it?
Yeah,
8 or 9?
that, yeah.
Right. It wasn't enough. This is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a team that have been here, seen it, and done it. You're dealing with a team that get written off every single season when they lose a couple of games. Every year. Oh, but this year's different. They've not got them. Insert whichever players you want. These guys have the know-how and the experience of how to come back. So you've got to open that gap while you can. Now, I'll ask you, where are Man City playing Brighton?
At the Etihad.
It's at the Etihad. See, I'd be more worried for them. If it was at Brighton, I'd be more worried for Man City. I think this is the sort of game Man City... Look, if Man City can win this game, all of a sudden they could be top, depending on what happens with Arsenal, Chelsea, and what happens with Spurs, Fulham, Monday night. And all of a sudden it's, City are back top again. Look, City are going to run away with it. I just think there's going to be so much movement between that top half of the table, especially for the next 10 to 15 games, that... I just think people need to take a beat. Just take a minute, right? Take a breather. Let's all see what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I get where you're coming from with that. I'm as I was saying earlier, I'm just excited about the game because
me too.
In the cold hard light, the result does matter to Man United because, again, I always want from a United point of view, I want all games when top 6 teams play each other generally to be a draw, unless I need someone to lose to help us. But from a neutral perspective, I'm just excited about the game. The only thing I'm annoyed about is that Man United games afterwards, so I can't fully relax and just go, I can watch this game and not worry about what's going on with my club, because our starting lineup comes out halfway through the game and I'll be focusing on that, which is annoying. But it's going to be an intriguing one.